We are a welcoming congregation. Participate in the life or activities of our community, of color, national, gender identity, sexual orientation, physical or mental abilities. By the way, happy solstice as comes the sun. If you please take a moment to fill out the got one here to show you, found in the pew rack in front of you. Someone will contact you to answer your questions and help you feel welcome in our community. You may also visit our website at uucleveland.org. Now, as we enter sacred space, please silence any audible cell phones, alarms, and other devices to avoid distractions during the service. This morning's chalice lighter is Pat Dillard. She is a member of the Greater Cleveland Congregation's core team for our congregation and also chair of that group's Pretrial Justice Committee. I invite you to join your voices together as we read our chalice lighting, which is our congregational covenant found on the yellow card in the rack in front of you. We cultivate trust with one another by celebrating differences, honoring boundaries, and offering compassion and care. We listen to each other deeply with curiosity and wonder. We speak for ourselves without need to defend ourselves or persuade each other. We create safe and brave space for healthy conflict, creativity, and fun. We reconcile through forgiving and making amends when we hurt one another.
Good morning. My name is Jenny Papp. I'm the Director of Lifespan Faith Development here. And I want to welcome you all here to our worship service this morning. I want to share some words from Rebecca Ann Parker on the winter solstice. Perhaps for a moment, the typewriters will stop clacking, the wheels stop rolling, the computers desist from computing, and a hush will fall over the city. For an instant, in the stillness, the chiming of the celestial spheres will be heard as Earth hangs poised in the crystalline darkness and then gracefully tilts. Let there be a season when holiness is heard and the splendor of living is revealed. Stunned to stillness by beauty, we remember who we are and why we are here. They're inexplicable mysteries. We are not alone. In the universe, there moves a wild one whose gestures alter Earth's axis toward love. In the immense darkness, everything spins with joy. The cosmos enfold us. We are caught in a web of stars, cradled in a swaying embrace, rocked by the holy night. Babes of the universe, let this be the time we wake to life, like spring wakes in the moment of winter solstice. Let us worship together. As we begin our journey together this morning, take a moment, rise if you'd like, and greet your neighbors.
time for storytelling. It's also a time for singing. I know normally somebody plays a little bit on a piano and you stop greeting and sit down in your seats right about now, but Yule is also a time for storytelling. And I'm going to move something in the order of service, just for those of you that are completely freaked out by things going in a different order than what's on the printed page. I'm going to move a story up to before we sing together. It's intentional. Don't worry. We'll do the other stuff too. This is a story that I received from Andres Corbin Arthen about how Yule got its name. This is a story of the very first song. It is a true story, as all stories are, if you believe in them. And this story begins a long, long time ago when the earth and the sun gave birth to the very first beings, the very first plants and animals and people. It was springtime, and earth was the proud mother holding and feeding her newborns with tenderness and love. The sun shone warm and bright from his high perch above, and it was a time of joy and a time of great delight. The moon waxed and waned in the night sky, and the children of earth grew well and strong through summer. They played and they danced, and earth and sun watched over them. Then autumn came, and earth began to sleep much longer every day. She grew pale and tired. She could no longer feed her children. She didn't have the strength to bring forth new life. High above, the sun grew more distant every day and took longer to return each morn. The nights grew longer, and cold winds blew where none had blown before. And then, one day, earth went to sleep, and she did not wake up. She wrapped herself in a blanket of snow. She lay her head on a pillow of dried leaves, and she did not wake up. Her children could do nothing to wake her from her slumber. They prodded her, they called to her, but she would not awaken. In the sky above, the sun was nowhere to be seen, and this was the longest night that the first beings had ever known. They felt fear, and they also felt despair. What shall become of us, they wondered. Mother Earth sleeps, and Father Sun is oh so far away we can barely even see him in the sky. He's too far away to hear us call. What shall we do? And so they took their questions and their fears to the moon, the sister of the sun, because they had nowhere else to turn. She closed her eyes, took a slow, deep breath, looked within herself, and awakened thoughts that had never been awakened until that time. And she opened her eyes and said, "When hope is lost, the best way to get it back is with a song. Climb you the tallest trees, the highest hills, the greatest mountains, and Yule a song to reach the distant sun." Now, Yule is a word that comes from one of the most ancient tongues. It's related to words like yell or yodel, and it means to call out in a song. But the first beings had never heard a song, so once again they sought the moon's advice. "How shall we Yule?" they asked. "How shall we sing a song?" "Take the best of what you have," she said, "the best of what you are. Take what you love, take what you cherish most. Take your joys, your dreams, your fondest hopes, and weave them all together in a sound. And so they did. They climbed the tallest trees, the hills, the mountains, all the places that would bring them closest to the sun. They closed their eyes and thought and felt the best of thoughts and feelings and dreamt the finest dreams. And as they did, their voices rang to make a bridge of song across the sky to reach the distant sun. He heard and turned and smiled and wrapped himself in all his light and warmth and sped to where the Yuling voices called. And as he drew near, earth did stir and dreamed a dream of spring. The wheel of life made its first round, and hope and joy prevailed. And ever since, this time of year has been called Yule in honor of the first song. But the first song did not end. It had such power, such eldritch allure, that the first beings kept singing it throughout. And then the second beings born of earth took up the song, as did the third. And so it has ever since gone to this very day, through seasons and through years, although at times the song is very soft and can scarcely be heard amidst the din and clatter of our lives. When Yule comes, it rises and it swells in memory of that night when the sun heard and light and life were spared. And so do we gather with those we love and who love us, and stand upon the body of slumbering earth, and lift our voices to the sun, and join the song that first was sung so very long ago. We sing our thanks to those who have gone before, and we sing our fondest wish to those who come behind. We bask in the returning light of reawakened hope, and welcome Yule. May we rise in body or spirit as we sing together, Lady of the Seasons, Laughter. Is it number 51? Number 51 in the gray hymnal. I invite you to rise in body or spirit. carry a lot of things with us into this space. Maybe there are joys that we are celebrating and hopes that we have for the time ahead. Maybe there are some concerns that we carry with us. If you're joining us online, I invite you to put any joys or concerns that you want the congregation to know about in the comments. And if you are here in person, there is a Joys and Concerns book that we invite people to put some words in if they want to share something with the congregation. We do have a stone of gratitude, thanks to all of those who procured and decorated our amazing, awesome tree and decorated the sanctuary for the holiday. Thank you, thank you. We also had a lovely part one of this solstice service last night. We were more about the darkness last night. Today we're a little more about the light, but we had several people who were involved with that, and I want to especially thank those who helped put that service together. And Ken Keem, I don't see here, but Ken leapt up and did some extra unexpected cleanup with a soup spill last night. So thank you to Ken and all of the volunteers that helped with that solstice service. We also have a stone of grief today. Barbara Bradley's 1-year-old grandson passed away suddenly this week. And so we invite you to please hold Barbara and her family in love and care during this extremely difficult time. I invite you to come forward and place a stone in the water for any other joys or concerns that you carry with you today. we place a stone for those joys and concerns shared online today. And we acknowledge that these are a gift to which we have been entrusted as a community. We don't know what all of these stones represent. We can only know through our relationships with one another what joys or concerns we carry together. So may we tend those relationships and all of these things that we celebrate or carry with us together now and in the year ahead. Amen.
It's now time for our morning offering. This morning's offering will be shared with Greater Cleveland Congregations, or GCC. Founded in 2011, GCC is a nonpartisan coalition of faith communities and partner organizations in Cuyahoga County. As a catalyst for systemic change, GCC challenges Greater Clevelanders to imagine the change we can accomplish, to connect individuals and organizations to multiply our power, and to mobilize our members by the thousands to make our voices heard. GCC unites people across lines of race, class, religion, and geography to promote public, private, and civic sector actions which strengthen and improve the quality of life of our neighborhoods. Our congregation is one of more than 30 member organizations of GCC who work together for social justice in areas of voter engagement, criminal justice, health equity, gun safety, and economic democracy. Anyone who is a member or friend of this congregation is invited to participate in GCC activities. If you're interested in learning more about how to be involved here, talk to Pat Diller, who you saw earlier. Lori Albright's out there too, and there are others. Now, give as you are able by placing your offering, cash or check, made payable to UUCC in the collection plate as it is passed. You may also contribute via Cash App to $UUCC 44122. Please use the memo line to indicate today's date and our plate recipient, GCC. invite you to consider these words by the Reverend Sandra Fees. Breathe into the world. Whoever you are, wherever you go, may you know the stillness of winter and the call to love. May you see the moon silvering the night sky and let the dark of midnight plunge you into your truest self and fling you back out again to a world in need of who you are. May there be the familiar carols you know by heart and new melodies to set you free. May there be feasting and frolicking, kindness and wonderment. And may there be wise people to follow a star in the east and a child to teach us to love and enough magic to let the imagination go wild. To let Christmas arrive with its enchantments, with its glitter, glow, and gold. To let what wants to be born break through. May the presence of the holy crowd out fear, hate, and worry, and proclaim in this moment that peace and goodwill might yet be breathed into the world, and a vow that we too can give birth to love wherever we go, whoever we are.
That story of the first song has been a part of my Yule tradition for a while, my personal celebration. I love it. I think it's a beautiful story. And then I think, the sun doesn't care if we sing to it or not. We tell these stories like we have so much power. We human beings are going to sing a song and the sun's going to pay attention to us and do something different. What arrogance. And yet, we need stories like this to remind us of some things. Maybe there are some spiritual truths in that story about hope, about the way that we take some responsibility for the life and light in the world around us. But even though the sun is bigger than us, and the sun is going to do whatever the sun is going to do, regardless of whether we are singing, I think there might be some spiritual lesson in that too. I mean, what is it about us that has that kind of integrity? That we are going to be who we are, and we are going to do what is ours to do, regardless of what is going on around us. That we are going to have that kind of sun-like quality that says, I am going to shine like this. And it doesn't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter whether people are singing or not. I'm going to do what is mine to do. And I think about the whole sunrise and sunset and the days getting longer and the days getting shorter, and the sun isn't changing. The sun isn't changing. It seems to us that the sun is changing. The sun is staying in the same, well, relative to the earth, the sun is staying in the same place. We won't talk about whether the universe is in motion and the sun is zooming somewhere. Relative to us, the sun is staying right where it is. I'm cutting in and out a little bit. Is that bothering you? No, okay. I hear it a little. The sun is staying where it is. We're moving, and it looks like the sun is changing. So what is it about us that is like that? That says, even though it may look to people on the outside that something different is going on, I have a quality, a value, a principle that says, this is how I must be in the world, regardless of what's going on around me. Maybe as a Unitarian Universalist you say, well, we have some of that. We have a sense of values. I'm going to take one of these. We have a sense of that. We say, regardless of what is going on in the world around us, we care about certain things enough that we're going to name them. And most recently, we've named them with some words that have longer definitions, but we name them with words like justice or words like equity. We care about those things regardless of what's going on in the world around us. They're things that define us. We also say that we're a pluralistic faith tradition, that you don't have to believe the same theology as somebody else. You don't have to hold things with the same intensity. You don't have to have the same way of being. There are lots and lots and lots of ways to practice Unitarian Universalism, and there are lots and lots and lots of ways to engage in liberating love in the world. And we try to be generous with what we have and with what we invite from one another. We value generosity. I save my favorite ones for last. They're my favorite ones today. We also say that we're interdependent. We cannot do any of this alone. We are interdependent with one another. We need other people, and other people need us. Not people, just. We need other beings, and other beings need us. And we do this with a spirit of transformation. Who we are in this moment, what we are in this moment, is not what we always must be, or who we always must be. We are growing and changing. And we do this in service of liberating love. That's our son as Unitarian Universalists. It has been for a long time. Unitarians and Universalists both have engaged with this spirit of love as a way of guiding what we do, as a true north, as a way of saying, whatever else is happening in the world around us, this is who we are going to be. It's an image of integrity that goes beyond just us as individuals. We are not perfect at it. Don't hear me say that, because we are not perfect at any of this. But we hold this as a way of guiding our lives. So what about UUCC? I know some of you here today are visitors. This is not a quiz. You don't have to have learned this already. Half an hour in the door. What about the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Cleveland? What do we claim as the light that we shine in the world? I'll name one because I was thrilled to read about it in the newsletter. Our pretrial justice group is doing some amazing work in the lives of human beings in our area. I loved reading about the specific lives that they were affecting, the partnerships that they are making with other organizations and other institutions. There is a real collaboration and interdependence that is at work in that ministry. That is a light that we are shining beyond our walls, beyond our space, into the larger community. What other lights do we have as a group, as a community? What do we shine? Yeah.
The healthy sexuality based on our program.
We have a curriculum as Unitarian Universalists, and it's in partnership with the UCC Church, the United Church of Christ. We have a curriculum called Our Whole Lives that is a spiritual approach to human sexuality that we are going to start offering we're offering a version of it in January. That's been something that UUs have done for decades now, and it continues to evolve as our society evolves. Yeah, that's a light that we shine. We're hopefully going to have people outside of our community engaged in that.
You in your vicinity.
A congregation like this meaning,
Yes, just that this is here. Some people are not even aware that you could be in a group like this.
so can I just share with you, maybe you don't know this, maybe you haven't heard. I don't know if you're on social media of any kind. There are some people in our community, in our world, in our country, but around us, who are absolutely terrified right now for their safety and their well-being. They do not know that there is a place of welcome. They do not know that there is a community where they will be celebrated and affirmed as they are, where they don't have to pretend to be something else in order to be acceptable. Now, the problem with that, there's a real problem with that, my friends. If we're going to tell people that we're that community, we have to be that community when they show up at our doorstep. That's work. It's not just proclamation, it's a commitment that we make. That when people arrive here and they say, I heard this was a welcoming place, that we don't just say, yeah, it is. We show them, we demonstrate to them that we are who we say we're going to be. We're not a flashlight against the wall pretending to be the sun. Sorry, that's not a dig at what's happening later. I didn't even think about that. Our young people are going to use a flashlight later. It's going to be. Judy?
The very fact that we are a part of the GCC makes me thrilled.
Greater Cleveland Congregations. We're in partnership with other religious communities of all kinds to effect change in the world. I'm putting a lot on this side because this is the side that I've named Justice and Equity, and so I'm lighting a lot of candles on this side because of that. But that's okay. That's a good thing. Steve?
We're a welcoming place for the Buddhists to meet and a place for Meals on Wheels to operate from.
Yeah, our site, our building is a ministry to other religious communities, to Meals on Wheels and other places that create service. I'm going to stop blowing it out because I'm just going to light it up. Yeah, we are a hub for some of those things. Emily?
Our climate justice ministry?
The Climate Justice Ministry, it's kind of amazing how many different things we care about, and yet a lot of them fall under the heading of our Ministry for Earth. Our Climate Justice Revival had a lot of big ideas, and it's hard to know where to begin with those. But what we learned from it, at least, is that people appreciated being able to come together and share some of those big ideas about what climate justice looks like in our local community, things that we might take action on. So I want you to consider something. Oh, go ahead, Lori.
I just want to lift up our 9-year relationship with Franklin D. Roosevelt, pre-K to 8 public school.
FDR Academy, yeah.
Yeah, I can't begin to tell you how grateful that staff is for our relationship with them.
We do tutoring with them. We sponsor some other things. We did some care packages for the teachers at the beginning of the school year. So, yeah, that's a relationship that we've been cultivating for a while. Yeah?
We don't use our offering for ourselves, we use it for others.
80% of our plate every week goes to some other organization in the community. Sometimes it's for something internal, but that's a rare thing. We do use our financial resources to create greater wholeness in the world around us. So, okay, way back in the cheap seats. The Impact program. We have an after-school program with the middle school next door. We provide space for them and some leadership and guidance and funding, and they've been going strong for 20-something years now. This candle's going to need to be rehabilitated. We'll do another one. This one's the Impact candle. I just didn't realize it. So I invite you to think about something. Where do you fit in with all of this? And we don't even have to say at UUCC, but if we take our chalice light and we bring it down here, how are you shining that light into the world? It doesn't have to be a big thing. You don't have to do all of these things. Anything that you do that shines light in the world, that continues that song of hope and peace and justice. All of those things that you do, any of those things that you do, shines the light forward. Because we can choose to be a lot of things in the years ahead. We can choose to be a fortress, and we can lock ourselves down and hunker down and pretend that we're safe together. Or we can be a beacon. We can shine a light that allows people to see a different way of being, a different possibility of hope. And so, if our soul's light is going to shine so brightly that we all find our way home, where are you committed to shining? I'm going to invite you to just take a moment to think about it, and if you would like, you can come forward and place a candle in one of the bowls of sand here. They're not different. They don't represent different things. We just wanted enough space for all the possible candles. And so you can light a candle. Know what that candle's name is. If there's a thing you're committed to doing, or if there's a way you're committed to being, let that candle have a name. And if you're joining us remotely and you're in real time, you can also light a candle at home anytime. But if you want to name something in the chat, in the comments, we'll put a candle here and name it for you, because I know that you can't be here to plant it in the sand yourself. But if you want to name it in the chat, then we'll take a look and put a candle in there for you. So I invite you to come forward, light a candle if you wish, to name how you personally are committed to shining. And we're going to sing a little music as you do that. I would love to make sure that I'm in the key of D. We'll start off with a gentle song by Michael Slack. Some of you know it, but we'll sing it a few times so you get the hang of it. And there's no get in line in order kind of things. Just as you feel like you want to light a candle, come on forward and do so. May I be light in you. May you be light in me. Into our hearts, into our souls, let love abide. May I be love in you. May you be love in me. From this place out to the world for all time. That one goes to the tonic. May I be light in you. May you be light in me. Into our hearts, into our souls, let love abide. May I be love in you. May you be love in me. From invite you to continue coming forward. We're going to shift into hymn number 307 in the gray hymnal, "The Human Touch Can Light the Flame." Whether you've been able to name a thing today or not, I hope that whatever commitment you have made remains with you and that you continue to explore what you might name. Do we have anyone online right now? I know a lot of people are like a little bit behind. You can still name it in the chat. We won't physically light a candle, but you can name in the chat what you're committing to shine light in the world. And in that spirit, I invite you to rise in body or spirit as we sing together this little light of mine. If you need words, it's number 118.
Invite you to raise your hands. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
I do have a couple of things to let you know about. As I mentioned, our young people, elementary through high school, are going to gather together in the worship center. That's room 208. This is the worship center. At 11:30, there's going to be a solstice ceremony that you all are going to do together and a craft. So I invite you to stick around for that. We do have our Christmas Eve service coming up on Tuesday evening. The service begins at 6, but really you want to be here at 5:30 because our amazing young people, which is trademarked now, amazing young people of UUCC are going to be doing some pre-service music, and I have heard some of their rehearsals, and it is fantastic. So you want to be here at 5:30. 6 o'clock is the time when the service actually begins. And then afterwards, thanks to Cliff Wire, we're going to have some time together to fellowship and have some food together. Thank you very much for organizing that, Cliff. That's going to be fantastic. So, the building is going to be technically closed from Christmas to New Year's, and I say technically because we are still having worship next Sunday. So the 29th, we'll be here, we'll gather, it'll be great. We're going to have some really fantastic music next Sunday as well, and so I hope to see you there for that. But just know that a lot of our staff are going to be slower to respond over the next couple of weeks than they might be during other times of the year. Yuling back the sun is not necessary. We do not have to spend our time and energy on that. And so, may we call our own light back into focus, that we may shine in the world a light of greater wholeness and well-being in the world around us, in our own lives and relationships, wherever we may be. Amen, and blessed be.
It's now time to extinguish our chalice. Please join in singing the words on the yellow card in front of you, titled Extinguishing the Chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not